things are looking good. Let's get back to it.
A lot more than it's going to hurt them. If people can't find a movie or show on Netflix and then give up and pirate it, that didn't really cost Netflix any money, because the vast majority of content out there wasn't theirs to lose, and they most likely didn't spend the money producing it. A 2023 paper in the Journal of Economic Behavior and Organization titled Pirate and Chill found that when movies moved off Netflix to another platform, piracy of that content increased by more than 20%. Now,
Netflix has such a massive first mover advantage. They're basically like the Twitch of like streaming platforms, is that while other streaming platforms exist and they're successful, they don't have the same brand recognition and name recognition that Netflix does. Like, everybody knows what Netflix is. So I think that's another really big reason why this happens too.
First and foremost, that's an amazing name for a professional journal article.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it showed why Netflix hasn't been too concerned with online piracy. In a now infamous quote from the company's chief content officer, they said that in order for Netflix to be successful, we need to become movie studios faster than movie studios can become us. Piracy that disproportionately hurt legacy movie studios and their libraries of content was not something that Netflix would encourage. But behind closed doors, they certainly weren't too sad it was happening. Another way to think about this is that obviously Amazon isn't encouraging shoplifting, but it's a problem that hurts their competition far more than it hurts them.
LA POV, I guess. I mean, they're right. You know, yeah, obviously people like... what Netflix is saying is that they have a lot of like smaller shows that don't have like a huge amount of like they're not super well-known shows. So they're going to be less people pirating them. I think
piracy
that's
has also been a handy little tool throughout the company's history. Back in 2013, it admitted to using data from online piracy sites to find out what was popular and therefore what was...
Hey, you could say this is unethical, but you can't say it's not going to be effective. That's a really good fucking idea. Yep, figure out what kind of shit people steal and then don't sell that.
It's worth licensing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Netflix doesn't
Smart.
care about the rise of piracy. But what about the actual Hollywood studios? Well, they obviously do, and they crack down on IP theft with furious anger. But they are in a difficult situation. They could send piracy back to the dark ages by reconcentrating their content onto a single easy platform. But at the moment, that would probably...
They can't, because then you're just going to have people that are going to be putting up the files somewhere else. Like, it's always a game of whack-a-mole, and the more difficult that you make it for people to, like, consume the content, the more people will just simply take the easier route. I think that people will pay for the content if they can, but if it's annoying for them to pay for it, they'll just steal it.
Be Netflix, which a company like Disney would obviously not be willing to go along with after investing so much in their own service. If they keep competing, though, they are just going to make the experience worse for everybody and probably lose more ground to the high seas. Now, for these companies, this whole fight could not be happening at a worse time. There is a reason why music studios were able to play nice and make their content available just about anywhere while movie studios were fighting to the death. Music is simply much cheaper to produce, and there are far more sources of alternative revenue beyond just directly selling a song or an album. Artists don't make as much...
That's a good point, too. Yeah, you're right about that. Like, having, like, other types of licensing, etc. And like this is something that like remember Matt Damon talked about this, is that movies used to have like DVD sales that they could really pop off with. So like if a movie, like a good example of this I think is I would say like maybe Dredd. Like they made a Judge Dredd movie in like 2012 or so. And if I remember right, the like box office wasn't very good, but it did really well with DVD sales. And so, yeah, Grandma's Boy was probably another one. Yeah, there's a lot of these examples, right, where, like, it sold a lot of DVDs, but, like, its initial, like, box office was kind of low. And, yeah, by Blu-rays, yeah, a good-ass movie, cult classic. Yeah, Idiocracy was a huge one that sold well on DVD. Yeah, that's a great example. Idiocracy is probably a better example than what I'm talking about, right? And so now you don't have that second ripple explosion wave effect. And I think that's also another reason why movies have to try even harder to, like, monetize. And I think that's why you see less avant-garde, risky movies. And the only time that you see a movie that takes a lot of risks is when it's a director or it has a cast that's, like, you know, guaranteed to secure a certain amount of money in sales.
From streaming as they would from a physical album sale.
Well, I watched
but they
it on
can
DVD,
make it up
yeah.
tours, merchandising,
Good
and
example.
other licensing deals. On the flip side, movies have largely been getting more expensive to produce, while cinema attendance has never fully recovered from its dip during COVID. Ironically, one of the biggest theater releases of the past 5 years was actually
Infinity War, right? It's gotta be Infinity War.
from Music Studio with the cinema release of Taylor Swift's Eras Tour.
Oh god, somebody's gonna stop these white girls. Jesus Christ. Oh god. Man. That shit was huge. How did this happen?
In the past, poor box offices wouldn't matter as much, because mid-budget movies could make a lot of their money back through DVD sales.
Hey!
But obviously, that's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah.
So studios have put even more effort into pushing their streaming services to eventually make back the difference.
Yep.
It's a bold strategy, and there are hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap at stake. So executives really want to pretend that eventually it'll work out. But if it doesn't, there are some lessons to be learned from the music industry which didn't beat piracy. It just made it unnecessary. The first is that movies have simply become too expensive for the current market.
And this is another big issue too.
Studios have recognized
This is another big issue, is that like video games are running into the same problem that movies and TV shows are running into, is that as production costs increase, they're increasing at a ratio and at a rate that doesn't match the amount of money that people are willing to spend. So whenever you have these video games that are costing $800 million to make, well, are you really getting $800 million of value? Well, in a lot of cases, the answer is no. So the problem is that these movies now are costing so much money. Like, maybe you need to rethink how you're making movies. You need to rethink how you're approaching this. And, like, also, you know, like, Robert Downey Jr. got paid, like, what, $80 million or something like that to play Dr. Doom? That's just not a sustainable business model. It's just not. Like, you can't spend that much money on movie stars and then think that you're going to make your money back. Like, and also, like, I'm not, like, I love Robert Downey Jr. I think he's a great actor. He's amazing. But it's just, this is not a good business decision. That's all. It's just not a good business decision. And you can't make your fucking money back. Yeah, paving the way for AI videos? Well, that's what's going to happen a lot. Check The Rock's salaries. I bet he makes a ton of... Absolutely. It's unbalanced. Yeah. It's a broken system. 100% it is. They're definitely getting that value. They're not corrupted by ideologist directors. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of movies. Like, here's another really good one. The Thunderbolts recently. I think that's a movie that, you know, a lot of people said was surprisingly very high quality, and it was a good movie. I didn't watch it, so I'm only speaking in secondhand. But the box office sales for the movie were below average. That was my... It sucked ass. Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, I maybe best movie since Endgame. Yeah, so a lot of people, it's still bombed. Yeah, exactly. Seems like you guys are a little bit more split on it than what I've seen popular opinion be. Okay, that's fair. But either way, a lot of these movies, like, they just don't really sell very well. And I think they're investing too much money into these movies in general. And I think also, you know, like, you go back and you think about a lot of the older movies, like, Oh, fuck. Like, just Goodwill Hunting, for example, right? Like, how much production value did you really need in that? You didn't need a huge, insane amount of production value. And I think that movies now, like, you don't have to have Michael Bay explosions and all of this crazy stuff happening. Yeah, that's another great example. Bro, Clerks. They couldn't even afford color fucking cameras. It's in black and fucking white. And they just went and made a movie, and it was massively fucking successful. And so, again, I think also they need to rethink the amount of money that they're spending on these movies. And you can go back, Memento by Nolan. I remember watching that in movie-making class, but I don't remember even, like, that entire class I spent simping for this girl. It didn't work. Anyway, so that's yeah. So I did not even pay attention to that movie at all. And yeah, let's see here. Money makes it there. Yeah, exactly right. Paranormal Activity 1. Yeah, and there's plenty of examples of this. Napoleon Dynamite, another great example. So they need to rethink how much money they're spending on movies in the same way that developers for video games need to rethink how much money they're spending on games. If you're investing this much money into something, you can't afford for it to lose, and you can't live, like, whenever you're dealing with entertainment products, you can't deal in absolutes. You can never guarantee something is going to be a success like this.
Nice that people are only going to the movies for special occasion releases these days because it's expensive, the theater experience isn't that good anymore, and people can just wait a month and watch it for free on one of the streaming services that they were already paying for.
And it's also, a lot of the movies now are coming out on streaming services at the exact same time that they're coming out in movie theaters. And so it's even more the case. I'm trying to think, like, what movie, like, that's coming out would I want to watch in movie theaters? I can't even think of anything. I'm trying to think the last one. Like, I mean, I would have wanted to watch Infinity War in movie theaters. Like, maybe Superman. I don't really care about Superman. 28 years later, yeah, maybe that. Like, I remember I watched 28 Weeks Later in movie theaters in like 2009 or whenever it came out. So, like, maybe that. I don't know. I'd really have to think about it. Gladiator 2? No, I didn't like it. 2, like, no, it didn't need to be that way. And Dune? Yeah, I guess, okay, you're right. All right, so if they make part 3 of Dune, I'd probably watch that. That would be the next one.
Instead of making the whole thing cheaper and putting less of their eggs in a single basket, they have doubled down on producing mega blockbusters. Of the 20 most expensive movies ever made, 19 of them came out in the last 10 years after streaming was already mainstream. These figures also only count the production budget, not the marketing budget. And on the revenue side, the box office.
And by the way, marketing budget for these is sometimes like hundreds of millions of dollars. It's not like marketing is small. It's a huge component.
Include the share paid out to movie theaters. With even extremely generous estimates of those arrangements, only about half of these releases made their money back. And some in particular, like the Marvels, Snow White, Dial of Destiny, and the latest Mission Impossible movie, are shaping up to be catastrophic losses. So far, studios have been able to justify these flagship productions to their investors by talking about their IP value, which can later be extracted by bringing in customers.
Yeah, Ironheart, bro. Like, how's that going? Not so good, huh?
To their streaming platforms. But that isn't really happening. Customers who join because they want to watch a single movie didn't tend to stay subscribed for very long compared to those who enjoy a deeper library of mid-budget movies or TV shows. I don't know about you, but I tend to take my subscription to whatever streaming service is hosting The Office this month. These huge productions also put more strain on the business as these losses have to be made up somewhere. And that
I've always, like, I just have a subscription to, I have, like, Crunchyroll and... Oh, I got Netflix, and that's about it. Like, I don't really have a lot of these.
More often than not, increased prices, more ads, and worse overall service.
Yeah, if it's not on there,
now, I would forgive you for not feeling too sorry for Hollywood studio executives, but they are really in a no-win situation here. The harder they push back against the changing media landscape, the harder they push people towards the high seas.
Yep.
So anyway, now might be a good time to shamelessly plug that these videos are being made available ad-free on Spotify. So if you would prefer to listen in or watch it over there, I have left a link in the description.
Yeah, Spotify is doing what they need to, what movies need to do. Because Spotify is like Steam. it prioritizes the user experience. And when you prioritize the user experience, you control the market. The moment that you start making content and developing your commercial product for the best interest of the people that are making money off of it is the moment that your commercial product begins to fail, because you've lost connection with your actual audience here.
If you think it's just streaming services that have been getting so bad, go and watch this video next to find out why making junk makes so much money. And don't forget to like and subscribe to keep on learning how money works.
Well, I think that was a really good video. I think he gave some pretty good insight on it, especially with some of those graphs. I wasn't familiar with some of that too. And so I'm glad to see this. I'll link you guys the video. Make sure to give it a like. How money works. And I've watched these videos before. I don't know why I haven't seen it. But it's one of those things where, like, I think that we all know this is one of those realities, right? We all know this is, like, the reason. But it's good to actually see it. I used to pray for times like this. Oh my God.
This is some real gold here. In fact, Denims, Frogan.
Oh.
And Denims, Frogan, and Casey Tron. You guys should pay me for this. You guys should send me right now a super thanks for this. You owe me super thanks for this.
Okay.
I want to see it on this video.
Okay.
You better leave a super thanks. All of it on this video. Because I'm giving you some free advice here. Non-legal, legal advice. Non-legal. Because, you know, I'm not their personal lawyer. So, but here's what they would do. Here's what I would do. What I would do is this. I would say, as a settlement lawyer, because Ethan does not have to settle. He can say no. But I will say this. Here's how you do it. Here's how we do it, guys. Here's how we do it, chat. You say, I'm going to rat out, like a jailhouse snitch, I'm going to rat out the people that called CPS, and I'm going to give you their names and all their information.
Oh, jeez. Oh, wow. Oh, God. Woo!
So you can pursue them. Because you really want them, right?
Yeah.
You really want them. We're going to give up their heads. We're going to sacrifice them to the corn. We're going to put them out there in the wood chipper.
Yes!
If you drop this against us. We'll do that. Private. So no one sees it. It's going to be private, off the books. We're going to slide their heads to you. But you got to drop it against us. And I think that's the real sauce. And I think...
I'm going to be honest. I don't think they know who did it. I don't think they can do this. Like, obviously, this is absolute cinema. But if I'm looking at this logistically, they probably don't even know who did it. That's the point.
I think that they might actually want to settle if they did that. It's a sauce. Don't tell anybody. I know there's 9,000 of you. We're not going to tell anybody.
Yeah.
We're not going to go anywhere on the internet and send that. We're not going to. That's not going to get clipped out.
We're not watching
anybody,
this.
Right? Nobody's going to clip that.
Nobody's watching
Nobody's going to
this.
react to that. Nobody's going to say anything about that, right? That's going to be our secret, right? Just us in this chat. We're not going to post on Reddit. We're not going to put it in Discord.
Yeah.
We're not going to put it in Twitter. It's going to be. There's no way that's clipped. There's no way this gets clipped. It's impossible. Clippers can't do that at all.
Of course not. No, imagine that. And so, who's gonna, what's the CPS called? No, I don't think that they know who did it. I actually think that Denims and Frogan and whatever the fuck, Caseytron, I don't think that they even know who did it, period. They have no idea. And so, like, all they did is create the environment for it to happen. I don't think that they know the people. I don't think they coordinated with the people. And here's the other part. Here's the funny thing. He's leaving this out. Is that if they know who did it, calling and weaponizing a governmental agency on another person is, as far as I know, a criminal offense. It's kind of like in the same spectrum of swatting, and he can correct me if I'm wrong about this. But if they know who did it, and they coordinated with that person, not only would they be doing that and getting away from this lawsuit, but they would be opening themselves up to somehow a sort of accessory lawsuit or accessory charge for weaponizing a federal agency and submitting false reports. So this actually, like, aiding and abetting, right? So actually, this could be even worse for them if they did this. Please let them do this. That would be really fucking funny, man. And they'll only find out if they go to Discovery. Yeah, exactly, right? And we'll see what happens, but submitting false reports, yes. That would obviously be in the deal. I don't know if that would be in the deal or not. I mean, because this is a civil case. I mean, usually you can't plead away guilt from a criminal case through a civil case, as far as I know. I mean, I don't think that's the way it works. I could be wrong, but, like, that's just what I think. They'd get amnesty? I don't think they would. False report would be very hard to prove, but Ethan would definitely fight it in court. Yeah. Well, I don't think it would be hard to prove, because these people probably have private communications that completely explain that they were doing it maliciously. Like, just in total plain English, that they were doing it maliciously. And so that's what I would expect, right? I could be wrong about that, but I don't think that I am. So, in my opinion, I think this would be a very, very cut and dried case. Denham said that she will never settle. Well, good for her. You know, hopefully that goes really well for her. Hopefully things go great. But I did see this. This is, I think that he made another post actually talking about Tectone. Let me see if I can show this real quick and find it. Where is it? Yeah, it's right here. Legal Mindset offers Tectone help in finding a lawyer against Denham's. DM me, bro. We can get you a defamation lawyer.
F23 says Tectone said he wants to sue Denham's for defamation, but couldn't find lawyers to follow through. Why is that? He's not looking hard enough. If Techie wants help, I'll help Techie. If Techie wants to hit me up, Techie, DM me, bro. I'll find you a lawyer. We can get you a defamation lawyer. If Tectone needs help, Tectone, call me. Maybe. You know, call me maybe. F23 says Tectone said he wants to.
Man, he DM'd him? Yes, I saw this. And so, yeah, things are heating up pretty fast, right? And I think I got a pretty good one yesterday, smiley face, but I DM'd him anyways since he was cool. Gentlemen, I used to pray for times like this. Oh my god. The greatest Twitch era? Yep, there it is. This is insane. Oh my fucking god, man. And we're gonna get some good content, boys. Yes, we are. And this is gonna be fucking insane. I cannot wait to see this. And then, oh yeah, here's another one too. Listen to this. Bro, Baldy hits her with the reality check. Look at that. What?
Out right now, but tell Ethan I will debate him.
I'll debate him?
Oh, is he running
She's
away
gonna
with-
debate him.
You can debate him. You can debate him in a court of law. So you want to debate Ethan Klein? You have your opportunity. There's a moderator to the debate. It's called a federal judge. Good luck.
Out.
Oh, I love this, man. This is one of my favorite.
엄마가 살아야 애도 살아. 물 마셔. 목매요.
죄송해요. 저 때문에.
절대로 그런 생각하면 안 돼. 지금부터 너는 이 아이만 생각해야 돼. 딴 생각 아무것도 하지 말고 너랑 이 아이만 생각해.
취침소동하면 16번 잡아서 나한테 끌고 와. 그리고 11번은 현재 위치 파악해서 보고해.
11번 여기 있습니다.
취침 소동하면 16번 잡아서 나한테 끌고 와. 그리고 11번은 현재 위치 파악해서 보고해. 취침 소동하면 16번 잡아서 나한테 끌고 와. 그리고 11번은 현재 위치 파악해서 보고해.
11번 여기 있습니다.
수술실 네가 한 짓인가? 왜지? 어차피 죽을 인간 쓰레기들 장기 몇 개 뜨는 일에 왜 네 목숨을 걸지?
목숨을 건 건 부대장님이십니다.
원하는 게 뭐야?
내일 저랑 16번을 외곽 경비조로 배치하십시오.
16분 그
목숨을 건 건 부대장님이십니다.
원하는 게 뭐야?
내일 저랑 16번을 외곽 경비조로 배치하십시오.
16분 그 이사는? 네가 그 놈이랑 안 한 사이였어?
그리고 보트를 한 대 준비해 주십시오.
그렇게 쉽게 여길 빠져나갈 수는 없어. 너도 알잖아.
VIP들이 왔다고 들었습니다. 우리가 조용히 사라지는 게 부대장님한테도 좋을 겁니다. 아닙니까?
준호야, 나랑 가자.
내가 총에 맞았던 곳이 여기예요.
확실합니까?
예, 확실해요. 그놈들이 있는 섬, 여기서 멀지 않은 곳에 있습니다.
알겠습니다. 곧 어두워지니까 그만 배로 돌아와요. 내일 날이 밝는 대로 수색합시다.
그 섬, 이제 찾을 수 있습니다.
주위를 살펴봐. 네.
이렇게 된 게 다 자기 탓이라고 생각하시는 거예요. 아무리 생각해도 세상이 참 불공평해요. 못된 놈들은 나쁜 짓을 해놓고도 남 탓하면서 맘 편히 사는데 착한 사람들은 뭐가 조금만 잘못되어도 다 자기 탓을 하면서 막 가슴을 좆뜯어요. 우리 용식이가 그랬어요. 애가 너무 물러 터지고 바보 같아서 다니던 회사가 망해도 자기 탓, 빚쟁이한테 줘 터지고 와서도 자기 탓, 노름오다가 속고 와서도 자기 탓. 심지어 믿었던 친구놈한테 돈을 떼어도 자기 탓이라면서 그날 밤에 혼자 술을 퍼먹더라고요. 하루는 그런 놈이 그냥 하도 한심스럽고 꼴들이기 싫어가지고 그냥 내가 막 소리를 질렀어요. 내 배 앓고서 너를 낳은 게 후회된다. 응? 이놈아, 이제 너 같은 자식 놈은 없는 셈 치고 살 테니까 제발 내 눈앞에서 없어져, 이놈아. 이 쌍놈의 새끼야. 그랬더니 이놈이 그날 밤에 약을 먹었더라고요. 내가 너무 못나서 미안하다고 유서까지 써놓고 내가 그놈을 구루마에 싣고서 병원까지 뛰면서 하느님한테 막 빌었어요. 이놈만 살려주시면 뭐든지 다 하겠다고. 불구덩이라도 뛰어들려면 뛰어들겠다고. 그런데요, 선생님. 내가 죽였네요. 내 손으로 내가 내 자식 새끼를 죽였어요. 선생님, 준이 아기 선생님이 좀 도와주세요. 선생님이 여기 우리를 구하 뭐하러 오셨다는 것 저는 지금도 믿어요.
죄송합니다. 저는 그런 사람이 아닙니다.
이 늙은이가 여기까지 온 게 내가 잘못 산 죄 때문인지 아니면은 저 계단 위에 있다는 그 나쁜 놈들 탓인지 그건 나는 모르겠어요. 그치만 저 갓난쟁이가 뭔 죄가 있겠습니까? 이런 지옥에서 태어난 게 저 아이 탓은 아니잖아요. 선생님, 부탁합니다. 준이랑 아기를 살려주세요. 저랑 내 아들놈 대신에 준이랑 아기를 좀 선생님이 좀 살려주세요. 부탁합니다. 부탁합니다. 선생님 부탁합니다. 부탁합니다. 선생님.
Favorite things to see happen. This is absolutely fucking amazing. I am so happy to see this. Oh my fucking god. This is the best content influence since Step for Third. It will be if it goes to trial. Yeah, here we go. We've had so many updates to this story. It's amazing.
Finally, on the easy to find lawsuit stuff, just to reiterate with all of you, I will be fighting this lawsuit.
Yes!
I have legal counsel. They are actively working towards drafting some stuff. I can't really share more than that right now, but I can't really share strategy right now, but they are
$33,000 raised for the IDF.
working tirelessly for this case, and I can assure all of you that all of this is going to directly fund the paperwork, the documents that are currently being worked on that will be filed, and I'm very excited to, once it is filed and once it's public, to share it with you guys. So yes, very, very excited.
I can't wait. I am forward. I am so excited.
We will be working.
I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see this. This is going to be amazing. And yeah, this is great. This is something I saw on my wife used to watch Gems a lot. Funny how low cut her shirts became whenever she needs money. Well, I don't know about that. I try not to comment on women's appearances. There's no real reason for me to do that. I don't think I need to, honestly. So I saw something that was really, really funny. This is from 1 year ago.
Hasn't led directly to the death of one of his parents yet, so he has that going for him over Asmund at least. I'll admit, I did like that tweet, and I have a lack of respect for Asmund Gold after letting his mom with COPD live in those sort of conditions. I'm sorry. Like, you're a millionaire, you have all of the resources in the world. Why is your sick mother living like that? Like, I'll say it, I don't care. If that makes me a bad person, still miles above of Asmund Gold. Miles above Asmund Gold.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. I do genuinely believe that bad things do happen to bad people. And so whenever I see somebody saying this, I think it's just a matter of time. And whenever it inevitably happens, I will be there to laugh. And I think that many people will.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We've got...
Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Promises kept. I said it would happen. I hate how people actually bully you. That's okay. I get my time. That's fine. And check your new editors. Did about this on Clip, so I didn't see this at all before. But this is this was wild. This is actually wild. Things do happen to bad. Be honest. I do genuinely believe that bad things do happen to bad people. And so whenever I see somebody saying this, I think it's just a matter of time. And whenever it inevitably happens, I will be there to laugh. And I think that many people will. Oh,
welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We've got...
And so anyway, watch your short. I don't know if there's a short about this or not. I have no idea. And so I said it was going to happen. I told her it was going to happen. And here we are. Here we are, guys. Getting sued. Is it a bad thing? Yeah, Snark subreddits after Emerald. Oh, I'm sure they're going to attack anybody they can. I mean, they're just bullies. The first one. Let's see if I can find this. Somehow it's got even worse for him. Oh no, this is just, yeah, we already saw this before. It's not a big deal. And, yeah, I don't even know. Is it on Asmongold Shorts? I mean, I don't even know what YouTube channels I have anymore, guys. I'm sorry to say. What is this? If I can find it. What the fuck is this? Shorts? No, I have no idea where this is at all. But, apparently these are getting a lot of views. A lot of people are watching these. And, anyway, so who the fuck knows? Anyway, so I did call this. I called it a year ago. I said this was going to happen to you. And at that time, I said I would be there to laugh at you and celebrate your downfall. And here we are, a year later. Wow. Wow. How about that? She didn't listen? She should have listened. She should have listened. I said it was going to happen. It only took 1 year. That was quick. It always is. And sweet, beautiful vindication. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And this is making me believe in God. I can see why you say that. Absolutely. And karma's a bitch. Yeah, you're usually right. Well, no, the thing is that this must feel so good for you. No. Because I know how bad it's going to get for her, and it hasn't even begun. We haven't even talked about the follow-up defamation lawsuits that I think are coming. We haven't even talked about the fact that if she actually gets convicted guilty of these, it will give Twitch the ability to ban her account because she used Twitch as a vehicle to commit a crime. No. This is only step one in like a 10-step process, okay, guys? It's going to get better and better and better. And the whole way through, I'm going to be watching. I'll be watching. But anyway, so this is another person who's trying to advocate for getting me deplatformed and getting banned because he thinks that I'm bullying Caseytron by saying that I don't feel sorry for her, that she's getting sued for from Ethan, right? Basically, right? This is the reply, so I don't know exactly where it is. And so this is Mike from PA. This is the same exact guy. He's absolutely having a breakdown. If we keep pushing, the problem will solve itself. Gentlemen, I want to let you guys know that I am going to do my best. I'm going to try as well as I can. And we're gonna take care of this problem, okay? I don't know. I can't guarantee results, but I can guarantee effort. It might not happen immediately. It might not happen instantly. You need to make a post for this? Yes. And we're gonna try to get rid of these people and get the fuck out of Twitter. Yes, exactly. So I'm thinking about, you know, a lot of these people are accusing me of weaponizing my community. I'm thinking about proving them right. Maybe I should do that. And then we'll see what happens. I don't know. But if you want to act like a victim and you want to post stuff like this, maybe I'll make you deserve it. I'm not saying I'll do it. I'm just saying I might. So the thing is, I see these people, and I want to show this. And the reason why I show this here is because these people are prime bullies. They are bullies, they are aggressive, they are sociopathic, they are awful people, they have no values, they don't care about anything other than making people do what they want. And that's it. Don't go down to their level. I won't. I'll go lower. I have no... See, the thing is that when I see stuff like this, my goal is to find some sort of way to get people like this off the platform. This is a person who is openly, plainly, statedly talking about having somebody kill themselves. Openly advocating for it. That's it. And so that's it. If people want to take the low road, I'll meet them there. That's fine with me. And so, careful with words, though? Oh, I'm always careful with my words. I never say anything that would get me in trouble. All I'm saying is that I think these people need to be held accountable for advocating and promoting making somebody want to kill themselves. They need to be stopped? Yeah. We need to stop these people. We got to get rid of these people, guys. It's not about killing yourself? Yeah, of course it is. Of course it's about killing yourself. So I just want you guys to see that whenever these parasites are pleading for any sort of relief or any sort of, mercy at all, this is what they do. These people do not want mercy. All they want is they want to be able to control aggression. That's it. You want it to mean the bad thing because it makes you right? Gentlemen, there is no amount of emotional manipulation or gaslighting or anything like that that's going to make me even doubt myself for a second. I understand that this might work with dumb people or anybody else who's trying to look like a good person or anything like that. I don't need to do that. This is not like that's not the way that I operate. So you're not going to try to, you can't misinterpret the tweet. Yes. I don't, you're not like any form of gaslighting like that to me. Just as you're literally just wasting your time. You're just wasting your time and that's it. And so, don't fuck with me. Yeah, I don't. You know, he's right because he is right. Yeah, you're not going to even make me question myself for a second. The more that these people push, the more that we will push back. And I also want to say that, I'm pretty good at doing it. And so, I think that these people should take the L, take some self-reflection, ask yourself, is this a good thing to collectively bully and lie for people? And, maybe change their behavior. Let them find out. If they weren't dumb fucks, they'd settle and apologize already. Yeah, well, either way, I want to say that there's never going to be a point where I will ever give these people even a slight amount of sympathy or any level of relief. It doesn't matter what you do. Even if you apologize, I will keep going. Because I know that the only reason why these people would apologize is to somehow avoid accountability and then rebuild themselves and then do the same thing again. Nope, that's it. You could save the replays. I probably still have, if like the cartridges still work, I probably have like saved replays from like 2002. Yeah, somebody wants to play it. Dude, I love that game.
Today's story is actually going to tangibly impact you. So, for 5 years, there's been a battle waging at the highest levels of the games industry. It's massive, it's between Apple, it's between Epic, and it's around the principle of fairness. And the big news today is that Apple just lost. But they didn't.
This is a huge fucking W. Massive fucking W. Because basically Apple and Google have a duopoly over all apps on all smartphones. And Epic was suing them over that, and Epic won. This is huge. I didn't make a video about this or talk about this at all. I forgot why. But I'm actually, like, so happy this happened.
Lose because Epic Games outmaneuvered them or any kind of insane gigabrain play from Tim Sweeney. No, they lost because, in the words of the judge presiding over this decision, Apple leadership, quote, outright lied under oath, and in deciding not to comply with legal injunctions, Tim Cook, quote, chose poorly. It's an ominous thing for a judge to be...
He chose poorly, Jesus Christ.
He's saying to you. This, though, is a dramatic case. It has impacts that will reverberate across the entire games industry, and honestly, far wider than that, meaning it truly will impact everyone who watches this video. Here's how all this started. So, Tim Sweeney is a man on a mission, and it's a mission that's cost him and his company more than $1 billion over the last 5 years. It's fair to say that he's pretty committed. Now,
it stands to make them over 10 billion, or probably more than that.
5 years ago is when he decided that Apple and Google's exclusive storefronts on their mobile platforms were in fact unreasonable monopolies.
Yes.
In his opinion. Essentially, he says
Yes, bro. Yes. I fucking agree with this so hard. I was so happy to see this.
They don't earn their 30%.
Now do it to MasterCard and Visa. This is the exact logic they need to apply to MasterCard and Visa. Holy shit.
Fee. Rather, they impose it, and that because of that, they're restricting how developers could make money and what sort of deals that they could actually offer to consumers. So what he decided to do was force their hand. So he started something called Project Liberty, and here's how it worked. Fortnite suddenly got an option where users could buy currency directly from Epic, right? Directly, not through your
the Google
Apple
Play
payment or Google payment thing. That, of course, meant that Apple and Google immediately booted Fortnite because it did break their store policies. And this is exactly what Tim Sweeney actually wanted. He wanted his game to
The ironic thing about this, and this is very clever by Fortnite, is that this commercial was made by Apple.
Kicked off, and we pretty much know that because Epic immediately filed lawsuits that they had been preparing.
Very
These
clever.
were designed to force the stores to change those policies. Now, in the case of Google, it actually went so much better than any of us could have expected. Evidence actually emerged that certain developers like Activision had been paid not to rock the boat, and that they deleted documents and were broadly proven to have acted unfairly.
What a surprise. What a surprise that the duopoly by two massive companies was actually propped up by a bunch of corruption. Who could have ever guessed?
They lost on all counts as determined by a jury.
And what's this here? It's actually much more impactful than this video is saying. I'm an app developer, and prior to this lawsuit, you charge 30% no matter what, even if you are below 1 million in sales. Yeah, no, I understand. This is a massive change. And remember, I was complaining about this for a while, and people were saying, oh, we'll just build your own. Nope. Don't need to now.
The platform is opened up.
Yeah, it's an antitrust market. Exactly.
New stores, and Google have appealed. It was a complete win for Epic, but their fight against Apple is an entirely different story. Things have begun to look quite bad for Epic. You see, the outcome of that initial trial, the original one, was an almost complete defeat for Epic Games. They basically could not prove being the emphasis word there, that any kind of monopoly or unfair action was going on. But there was one
it was
exception.
So obvious.
An injunction was placed against Apple, and this was to end anti-steering provisions. You might think, what is anti-steering? Well, it's actually pretty simple. So basically, it meant that Apple could no longer prevent developers from directing users to make purchases outside of the store.
Ooh.
So basically, steering you, the customer, somewhere else.
Yeah.
So as an example, that would be buying V-Bucks in Fortnite through a web client
directly
rather
through
than through Apple's purchasing system, which would thus avoid Apple's 30% cut.
Right.
Now, at the time, the judge said that Apple should be entitled to something, but that they can't force people to use their in-app purchase systems. Apple then spent 3 years appealing, and, you know, it's
Failed.
Apple, they can afford lawyers, but they really got nowhere on that front. And this
Fuck them. That's what you get.
is when that same judge came back and filed a new injunction against Apple for their behavior in the last 3 years. And this one truly is remarkable, and depending on how things shake out, there could even be
Would this also affect Steam? No, it won't affect Steam because Steam doesn't have a monopoly that they can exercise in the same way that Apple and Google can exercise their monopoly. If Steam was 95% of the entire gaming market, then yes. But the big problem is that, so the issue is not that this is happening. The issue is that it's happening and nobody else has access to the market without using this. So, like, for example, like you have dozens of other launchers that an individual can use that's not like Steam. You also have individual company launchers. You have the Epic's launcher, the Epic Games launcher. You have Good Old Games. So there are so many other instances where Steam is effectively like they don't have a monopoly the same way Apple does. It's just that simple. This is antitrust monopolies. That's the reason why it's bad. It's not even bad because of what they're doing. It's bad because they're doing it and nobody can say no. There's nowhere else to go to do it.
Component.
That's the difference.
Wild. So, it wasn't just for a lack of compliance with the original order, but for contempt of court, which is usually frowned upon. So much so that they've been referred to the U.S. Attorney's Office to consider criminal contempt proceedings. That would be dramatic. Now,
I like
the
the
judge
sound of
essentially
that.
was not pleased that Apple implemented new costly fees around off-app purchases, where basically they were effectively replacing one anti-competitive process with another.
Yes.
Meaning, of course, devs lose, but also us customers lose.
This
And
is another very big component to it, is that the customers, it is ultimately, like, what should the law do? The law should make it to where customers and the most amount of people have the most fair and equitable ability to do business and to receive products at a reasonable price. That is what consumer protection laws are made to do. The fact is that Apple is actively working against that. They are actively working against that through lobbying. They are actively working against that through getting these different cases, fighting these cases. And they're ultimately trying to make you spend more money, the consumer, so they can get a percentage of that money.
While they were doing all that, they were also misleading the court over what they were doing. Here's a quote. That it thought this court would tolerate such insubordination was a gross miscalculation. As always, the cover-up made it worse.
Man.
For this court, there is no
This is
second.
the United States District. Oh my God.
Bite of the apple.
Damn.
Yeah, GG, Judge. Quite the zinger. So she laid out then some clear rules. These are practices that Apple are banned from. Number 1, imposing a fee on purchases made outside an app. That means that they have no reason, therefore, to track those purchases.
Wow.
The ones made outside an app. Ban number 2, setting conditions on how devs can direct users outside of an app, including restricting how links work. Basically, you know those design anti-patterns that are just trying to get you, the consumer, to clearly do something by, making a link look weird or a misleading design, that sort of thing. Third, banning certain types of app from directing users to outside purchases. And finally, using, quote, emotive language to persuade consumers to